Hello and welcome back to another Wipe of Rust, where you have joined me for a 3 times weekly server. I took a look at the map just after spawning. I think my plan was to build next to a monument. Nothing too high tier so I won't be swarmed by all the good players, but also nothing too small because I still want to make progress. I think a blue card monument would fit well into this category, so I'm going to build next to water treatment or train yard or something of the sort. Started off by heading to gas station, which is where I was lucky to find a SAR and a military crate. That's a big win off the bat. It's going to be a good wipe. Let's all pretend it didn't take me 10 tries to get up this ladder. After hopping onto the roof, I was looking around for crates when I was met with this. There was a player hiding somewhere in the distance, shooting incendiary rockets at me. After looking to see who it was, I figured it out. It was a player in this small base, practically just covered in windows, obviously searching for people to just kill and loot for fun. I attempted a few shots at him a couple of times, until I eventually decided to jump down and try and get closer to kill him. After a few close calls, I ran up to his base, and I was met with quite the opposite type of interaction I was expecting.
Take it. Come.
After receiving a multitude of loot from this stranger, completely free, I decided to run off when what I feared happened.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Luckily I had a bag nearby, so I just respawned and ran back before he decided to change his mind. I collected my loot and ran to a post where I was going to try and test my luck at blackjack. I think after losing everything it was time to go. After searching for a build location, spotted this player on top of the mountain and took a risky shot. He didn't seem to pose a threat however, so I just decided to build my base here, right next to water treatment to provide me easy access to train tunnels and a blue card loot room.
The weather wasn't great. I was a black cloud floating. You were a moonbeam in the sky. Longing for the day, I threw myself into your light, unthreatened by the night. Nothing stays the same, but still the world is turning. At least some things never change. If life is just a game and luck is for losers, then I'm winning again. Dark days, these are dark days, but I heard that there's an easier way. These are the best days that you're ever gonna have.
After finishing the core of my base, I heard some gunshots from the distance and decided to check it out. As I approached, I found out it was... I can't even explain this, just a guy shooting. My original guess was that it was shotgun traps, but I guess not. I searched for him for a couple of seconds, and then this happened.
Dark days, but I heard that there's an easier way. These are the best days that you're ever gonna have.
So after killing the guy and taking his inventory of base building materials, I decided to get to work.
'Cause I know that there's an easier way to love. These are the best days that you're ever gonna have. The best days that you're ever gonna have. The best days, the best days.
Oh,
After doing some base work, I was approached by a man outside my base.
please let me in, man. I'm homeless. I'm homeless, man. Help me.
And he didn't seem too friendly.
Hello, how are you?
After dying to him, I checked his name. I hazed myself. And my relationship with this guy would be interesting, to say the least, so stick around for that. Now, he must have felt bad for killing me or something, because he offered me a trade request in game. Now, on modded servers like this, you can trade with other players. I don't personally like it very much, but this was an exception I was willing to make, just for gets and shiggles. And man, was it worth it. This guy just gave me a tier 3 and 2k scrap. The things I could do with this were insane. But first, I had to finish building my base. I researched a couple of items I had acquired over my time in this wipe, and then I made my way to a nearby raid that I heard going on in the distance.
Do you want loot?
After showing up, however, the nice person inside offered me some loot.
Hey? Do you want loot? Or not? Do you want Thompsons? Yes, you are Margaret. Okay. Wait me 5 minutes.
If you know me, you know I'm not going to turn down any good
I
loot,
gave
so
you-
I said yes. Expecting maybe to come back in 5 minutes and collect something. After I left, however, there was a lot of shooting going on, so I doubled back around and tried to test my luck at some fighting against these people. After dying in the snow, I noticed the player running away from the raid. I decided to go after him. After all, he would either have the raid loot or the loot from the people trying to counter the raid. As I got close, I took my chance. And this is where we met our friend again. After spawning back at the base, I had a trade request from I Haze Myself. Now, considering our past experiences, I don't know whether to say he's our friend or not, but since he's been giving me so much loot this wipe, I'm gonna count him as an acquaintance. After all, I have tried to kill him multiple times, and so has he.
What the hell? Oh my god.
And so I accepted the trade and was met with a whole new tier of loot. Now, after being given these weapons and explosives, I was open to a whole different way of playing. I could now raid people's bases with the rocket launcher or C4, and I could also PvP much more efficiently with the AK and the bolting. But I also managed to piece it together. I Haze Myself was the one raiding that base. He was the one that asked me if I wanted some loot, I just didn't know it yet. Now I used the rest of the scrap I had collected over my time of playing to unlock down the tier 2 workbench, so after all it's one of the most useful things you can do. I then headed off to water treatment, where I was met with a surprising find, a sleeping player with a Thompson on him. This would come in way more handy than my crossbow and nailgun kit. But when I went to go depot my loot, I realised something. All the bases around me were very protected, and mine stood out amongst them, because I was very unprotected and small. So I decided I would armour my base up a bit, and make it a little bit bulkier. I placed a weapon rack I had found on the second floor, next to my locker. And here displayed my beautiful new rocket launcher and AK. But with that done, I was running low on comps and scraps, so I made my way to train tunnels for a couple of trips.
Insecurity is rife. I'm not the ideal person to be lecturing on life, but if you wanna know some things I've learned about myself, being in sticky situations, I won't bore you with the filth. Breaking bones and sniffing gear, pouring blood and sweat and tears. In a nutshell, I suppose that's the way the water flows. Yeah, that's the way the story goes. Sometimes, well alright, maybe all of the time I'm on a false ego trip, well I'm a renegade of sorts. I roam the concrete jungle hunting idiots for sport and now the cocaine scene. It picked me up and made me frown. There's a joke, he says the music helps the medicine go down. Hey, it makes you feel alive, more like demons of the night. Thinking powder up your nose, that's the way the water flows. Yeah, that's the way the story goes. Sometimes, just sometimes. Now the world outside don't look the same for you and me. Drinking cider in the golf course, just a distant memory. Down the park and pick a fight, popping pills all through the night. Fucking waster, I suppose that's the way the water flows. Yeah, that's the way the story goes. Sometimes, just sometimes. Sometimes, just sometimes. Just sometimes.
I then made my way even further down the Tier 2 workbench. Whilst out on a roam, I heard a couple of noises from a base I had explored earlier, and so I thought the owner must be home. I better go check it out. Where I found a little guy. It looked like he was placing turrets, so I caught him at just the right time. However, I had to get this loot straight back to my base because I knew he'd be out and not be happy. I arrived back home to what I think is a hacking accusation, but you can never be too sure. With the turrets I had just acquired, I researched some electronic components so I could at least put them together at some point. once again, midway through chilling in my base, I heard gunshots from outside, and they were pretty close. So I grabbed the bolty and I ran onto my roof like a true camper. However, I couldn't see any of the action from my roof, so I decided to get a little closer. And in this small shack, I found I hazed myself. This guy just keeps showing up, but I'm sorry, friend. This is actually my first time finding a large backpack, so I took both of them. There wasn't actually much loot in this base, but I presume he was shooting this locked box, so I got to it as well. Just as I started, I heard footsteps from outside. I skillfully made my way down the cliff, trying to flank the guy that I had just heard, but he was nowhere to be seen. And there, just for a split second, I saw him. So I ran back round the mountain, and I looked all around, up and down, but he had literally disappeared. I heard a couple noises coming from this base, so this is probably my best bet in knowing where he went, but I couldn't be bothered standing around or door camping him, so I just left. And then I went back out on my original plan, getting a blue card from Outpost. All of the green card monuments were relatively far away and I couldn't be bothered going to them, so I just decided to use my scrap and buy one from Outpost and then head to water treatment and use it. I got a little distracted, but I eventually got the blue card and headed back. Although as soon as I turned up at water treatment, it had already been looted, which is a pain in the arse because I was so excited to get a red card and maybe take oil or something. And so instead, I went farming so I could get enough material for my TC to last the night. After a couple of traumatizing flashbacks, I found a bunch of nodes to mine. I returned home and decided to make my base a little bit prettier. I had just got myself some new door skins, so I put them to use. I got off for the night here, and as every video has went so far, I woke up to a raid. But that's Rust. I'll be on again sometime in the next few weeks, depending on how long it takes me to edit another video. But anyway, watch the next one, because this one's pretty good. The last one only got like 70 views. Very not happy camper. And subscribe as well. I need to be monetized so that I can at least claim that I've done something successful. Outro screen.